everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Asia, nice to meet you. Today we're gonna do 2 videos in one. I'm gonna show you every single book I have on my physical TBR, all down here. And I'm gonna do a little book haul in them because obviously those books are in my physical TBR, but I bought new books. What a shock. Is anybody shocked? Anybody? No. So I'm gonna show you all the books that I bought that are new and all the books on my TBR. I've been good lately. I've been trying not to buy as much and to read more than I'm buying, but then yeah, last week I just bought a couple, so I just wanted to show you them all. Okay, let's go first with the new ones, with the ones I bought. The first one that I bought that I'm so excited about, it's January's by Olivia Blake. This is her newest book. It literally came out like last week, and it's a special edition with the sprayed edges. Look at that. Look how beautiful that is. And it is signed on the book. It's like a collection of short stories. And if you know anything about me, I love Olivia Blake. Look, that's like my Olivia Blake shrine and like 3 special editions. And I have another one in my TBR. So yeah, it's just beautiful. The art is always stunning. In every Olivia Blake book, you'll always find perfect, amazing art. So first book of my TBR and first book of my book haul is January by Olivia Blake. Stunning, beautiful, perfect. Then I bought from Vinted. If you don't use Vinted to buy books, you are missing out. Like, trust me, there are so many beautiful, almost new books that you'll find so cheap because people are, you know, trying to sell them. It's great, trust me. And I have wanted to buy these for a hot minute, so I'm happy that I found them on Vinted. The Infernal Devices trilogy consists of the Clockwork Angel, the Clockwork Prince, and the Clockwork Princess. And the spine form like an image. How fun. These are part of the Shadowhunters universe. I have read, when I was younger, I read the Mortal Instruments, those 6, and the Magnus Bane Chronicles. Actually, I just started today, literally I'm 15 pages in, the first one, literally today. A trilogy set in the 1800s, and so I love when it's a period piece, and apparently there's romance in them as well. And I'm pretty sure it's a love triangle. Very excited, very excited. So these are books I bought on Vinted for so cheap. Check out Vinted. Next, I bought Never Lie by Frida McFadden. This is quite short. I've never read any of her books before, and my mom loves her writing and her books. She read The Housemaid, I believe, and a couple more. If you live in England, you know that most of her books are in the works, so they're like very cheap, very affordable. Apparently she's a very quick read. Thriller, mysteries, and they're all very quick and easy to read, all of her books. I wanna get into her because my mom loves her so much that I wanna love her as much. And then the next 2 books, I just realized most of these are either charity shop or secondhand or the works. Next book is The Night Circus. I found it in a charity shop. It's a fantasy book. I'm pretty sure it's a YA fantasy book, but I've seen it everywhere on TikTok for the last couple of years. And one of my friends have read it and she liked it a lot. So, and I saw it was £2 in a charity shop. I was like, oh well. All right then. It's The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern. It gives me Caraval vibes and I loved Caraval, so why not? Next book that I found in that same charity shop is Blood Orange. I haven't heard many things about it, like I don't really know much about it. I read the back and it sounded good. It says, Alison has it all, a loving family and a career on the rise. She's just been given her first murder case to defend, but all is never as it seems. I was like, yeah, enough said. It's by Harriet Tice. Ooh, a dark and disturbing domestic noir. Psychological thriller, it is. And I feel like winter is the best time for like psychological thrillers and like kind of thing. So okay, these are all the books that I bought recently. Let me show you all of them together. Was my book haul for the last week and a half. First book I picked up was Love and Gelato. Cute little rom-com, very excited to read it, by Jenna Evans Welch. Also, if you've read any of these, please convince me to read them. Please tell me, oh, you have to read that, oh, you have to read, please. I just bought this because it was a 66 books and it's set in Italy. I'm pretty sure it's set in Florence. That looks like Florence. I'm Italian. that was it. That's all it took. Next one is the Happy Ever After playlist. Abby Jimenez book. I read one of her books before, and actually I have another one by hers as well. I read one of her books. I didn't love it, but I think it wasn't like the fan favorite, so I'm still gonna read this. And there's a dog on the cover. Enough for me. I'll buy it. Next one actually is Abby Jimenez again. It's Just for the Summer. This is the fan favorite. Everyone wants this, everyone loves this, but I think this is the second one, because I think the first one is Yours Truly, and I don't own that, so I want to read that first. And I feel like I should read this next summer, right? I mean, I don't know, maybe not, but like I feel like this is a summer read. It's literally called Just for the Summer. It's beautiful. I love the cover of this. It's one of my favorite covers ever. Tell me if this is actually worth the hype. Next one we have, it's another Olivia Blake book. It's Alone with You in the Ether, and this one is another special edition because that's what I love about Olivia Blake. Apparently this is like everyone's favorite romance book. Yeah, it's a contemporary love story, and it's like very gripping and very complicated apparently. So I'm very excited because I love this woman's writing. I would read her shopping list, you know. Next we have Thunderhead by Neil Shusterman, and this is the second book in Scythe. She's up there somewhere, and I really enjoyed Scythe. Really enjoyed it. It's a dystopian YA book, the world in hundreds of years when humans can't die, and there's scythes that are in charge of like killing people. It was so interesting, and it had such a crazy cliffhanger at the end, so actually I really need to read this because it was so good. The first one was so good. Next one is Kingdom of the Wicked. It's just, it never like called to me. I've had it for a while now. Two sisters, one murder, a quest for vengeance that will unleash hell itself. A lot of people love it, but apparently it's a trilogy and they don't really love the last book. It's a common feeling. The love story apparently is very nice, so I'm sure we'll get to it soon. Next we have Foul Days. I've talked about this in my last book haul, but I went to this event and they were giving off books, and this was one of them. It sounds so good. The back of it sounds so good, and I need to read this before summer comes. This is like a wintry read. It's not a summer read. I don't know anyone who's read it, so who knows. Next one I have Dance of Thieves. It's a romantasy, I believe. It's a fantasy romance. Everyone loves it so much. This is like a part of duology. The second one is Vow of Thieves, I believe, and it's red. Everyone loves it, so I'm excited. But I think there's like a trilogy that comes before this that I don't own, but you can read it without that one, and I think I'm gonna try and do that. And it's actually in my November TBR, so hopefully I can get through it this month because I'm excited. Next is Love on the Brain by Ali Hazelwood. You know it. You've seen this before. Ali Hazelwood is known for making rom-coms about women in STEM, so this is probably going to be that. But I feel like this is a great palate cleanser when, you know, you want something in between. You know, I think she pretty much makes the same book in different fonts, but if it's not broken, don't change it. Okay, next is Tomorrow by Gabrielle Kevin. I've been meaning to read this book for so long. I need to do it. I need to do it because I know I'm gonna love it. I don't know why I find it scary, because it's quite chunky and it's like a literary fiction book. People love this book, so I just need to get a grip and read it. Next I have 3 books by Sarah Adams. First we have When in Rome, which I plan on reading this month. It was sent to me through my Amazon wishlist by this girl called Sarah. Oh, ironic. It's not Sarah the author, it's like a girl that follows me here called Sarah, and I'm very excited to read this. It's on my November TBR, so I'm gonna try and get to it this month. Next we have The Cheat Sheet, and I think this one is like probably her most famous book. This was popular in like 2020. Oh, I love that it's floppy. It's ballerina, and I don't know if you know, I am a dancer, so it would be, I don't know if I'd love it or hate it that I'm reading about ballerina. We'll see, but it's ever too late to leave the friend zone. Who knows? Next one we have The Rule Book. This was sent to me by Sarah the author. the publisher sent it to me, and it came with the ticket to the game, which I thought was very cute. I'm gonna use it as my bookmark, I guess. It's a football romance. If you know anything about me, I love sport romances, so excited to read this. Talking about sport romances, Caught Up by Liz Tomford. I'm very excited. I read the first 2, Mile High and The Right Move. Mile High was good, The Right Move was fucking great. I'm excited. And then there's a 4th one called Play Along. I don't own that yet, but it's in the works. So you better believe I will be owning that soon. This is a part of like interconnected standalones, sport romances. Yes, I love them. Talking about interconnected standalones, romances, we have Hopeless. Now, this is the last one out of the Chestnut Spring series that I haven't read. I don't know why I've not read it yet. I should just do it. A lot of people don't like it, a lot of people love it. So there's conflicting opinions about this one. I loved so much Reckless. I loved Heartless. I was okay with Flawless. Didn't really like Powerless. Curious to know about Hopeless, but if it's anything like Heartless and Reckless, I will be happy. Okay, next I have The Kiss Curse by Erin Sterling. I have read The Ex-Hex, and it was cute. It was fine. It was very quick and easy and mindless. I'm sure this is going to be just the same because I'm pretty sure this is the second one. I'm going to be okay with it. Do you know what I mean? It's going to be an easy, mindless, no depth whatsoever kind of read. And sometimes you need one of those. Next one is in my November TBR as well. It's All Roads Lead Here by Mariana Zapata. We know Mariana Zapata. Everyone knows Mariana Zapata. Everyone loves her. She's the queen of slow burn. And this is, I'm pretty sure, like age gap single dad, which kind of sounds like Heartless. So I'm sure I'm going to love it. And my best friend bought it for me for my birthday and she loved it. We have pretty much the same taste in books. So I'm sure I'm gonna love it just as much. Next we have The Light That Blinds Us by Andy Darcy Theo. We've followed each other on TikTok for a hot minute and this is his first debut novel and he was lovely to invite me to his release party. His parents were so cute. Shout out, his mom was the cutest and she gave me this. So I'm pretty sure it's signed. Yeah, of course, it's signed. It's lovely and a lot of people are loving it, so I'm sure I'm gonna love it as well. I'm pretty sure it's a fantasy YA and he's writing the second book, which is coming out I think next year or something, so I need to get to read this before that one comes out. Next we have Cross the Line by Simone Soltani. It's a Formula 1 romance. Now if you know anything about me, I mean there's a Mercedes hat right there and a Ferrari top right there, so I am a big Formula 1 fan. So I don't know how I feel about it because the last time I read a Formula 1 romance was Throttled by, what's her name? It's not Christina Lauren. Lauren Asher. I had to go look at the fine print. Lauren Asher. I didn't really like it. So I don't know if it's just because I don't like Formula 1 romances or because I just didn't like that book. So I'm gonna give it a go. This was a proof copy actually. It came out this year. I love the cover, it's so pretty. If you follow me on TikTok, you've seen me sing the Italian national anthem one too many times, so I apologize for that. Next book we have that I'm so excited to read. I've said this so many times, but I still haven't read it. It's Heavenly Bodies. I am so excited to read this. It sounds so good. The backs are, okay, this is a proof copy, so that's why there's no back. So many drawings and maps and I'm so excited to read this. It's just huge, so it's a bit intimidating, but it sounds incredible. It's a fantasy book by Imani Eriu. I've talked about this a couple times in my full TBR and in my last book haul I made. I need to read this soon. I need to read this. Next book I have is Murder in the Family by Kara Hunter. It's a very odd book. It's like you have a case and they give you all the clues and all the things, so can you solve the case before they do? That's the whole purpose of the book, which I think is quite interesting. This sounds fun. Some people really didn't like it, some people really did. So it's another one that has conflicting opinions, but I think it's because the format is just not the usual one. So, you know, like you get all the clues. Interesting. Next two books are part of a series. They're at the same event that I got other books at, and I have a couple of things here signed by the author, Grace Riley, but very cute, very easy. I think they're both sport romances, and this one, it's a hockey romance. Yeah, he's a hockey player and she's a volleyball player, which I love volleyball so much, so this is like my two things. I love volleyball and I love hockey romances, so I know I'm gonna love Wicked Serve. And then Breakaway, I think it's hockey romance as well. And these are interconnected standalones as well, so you can just read one. Like you don't have to read them all too. Do you know what I mean? You can just read one or two, not in order, is absolutely fine. And I believe this is number 2 and that's number 4. Then I have 3 classics, which I always say I'm gonna read and I haven't. First one is Wuthering Heights. I studied this when I was younger, but I obviously read it in Italian because when I was younger I couldn't speak English, and obviously I grew up and was raised in Italy and went to school in Italy. And the second one is Pride and Prejudice. Once again, I did read this when I was younger in Italian, so I kind of want to read it in the original language. Will I ever get around to it? Who knows? So yeah, Wuthering Heights and Pride and Prejudice by Jane Austen and Emily Bronte. Everyone knows these two ladies, the ladies. And if you know, can you see Pride and Prejudice up there? It's one of my favorite movies of all time. I love the book in Italian, so I just need to get around to read the English one. And The Great Gatsby. The Great Gatsby, I actually have read half of it, and then I DNF'd it. So I never got around to finish it. I will do that. I just was not in the mood for The Great Gatsby. But I know exactly what happens in The Great Gatsby. Once again, I read this in Italian. I actually was enjoying it. I just wasn't in the mood for it. It was not what I needed at the time. So I'm going to go back to read it. It's very short, very easy, very quick. So The Great Gatsby. And last two books that I'm not sure if I'm going to keep because I've had for so long and I just feel like I should just donate. This one I've owned for so long, so I don't know if I should just donate it. It's Where the Crawdads Sing. I watched the movie. I loved the movie. But before I watched the movie, I tried to read this many times. Every time I DNF it. I've DNF'd it I think twice because I just didn't like it. But I loved the movie. I don't know. I've owned it for so long, and I know I'm pretty sure she's a problematic human being. I'm not sure if I'm right, but we don't like her, I believe. Sell it on Vinted or donate it to a charity shop. I feel like that's the way to go. And second one is this, A Kingdom of Shadows. I don't want to get rid of this, but this is the second one in a trilogy, and I don't own the first, so I need to just get the first. I don't really want to read the back because I don't have the first one, so I don't want to get spoilers, but it's a fantasy trilogy, so I just need to find the first one. Yeah, need to get around to do that. Now that all my books are everywhere around me, I think I've talked about all of them. So that's my entire TBR and my new mini book haul. So that's it. I got nothing else, thank God. Hopefully I will not be buying any more books. Hopefully. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Tell me what's on your physical TBR and tell me if you've read any of these and convinced me to read them. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I love you. Ciao.